Josh, we've got an intriguing matchup in Miami where Syracuse, coming off that upset of the season thus far over Clemson, 27-24, got an extra day to prepare for Miami. And of course, the Canes are unblemished, undefeated, ranked in the top 10 in the country, but they needed the late drive against Florida State. To their credit, they got it done. They also got it done, to their credit, despite a 2-score deficit in the fourth quarter against Georgia Tech. So the Yellow Jackets are a good team. They're a top 25-40 team. Florida State a little bit better than that. But Miami has yet to face a really, really good team. Syracuse is not that. But Syracuse gives me a little bit more confidence in being able to go to Miami and hang based on other efforts this season, playing NC State within a score and LSU on the road within a score. So Syracuse with the intriguing offense, and what this secret is here is that in addition to the high-tempo offense, that the defense is much better than what it's been in the past, that they take one of the best third-down conversion rates in the country, Syracuse does, defensively against one of the teams that's worst in the country, bottom 20 or so, converting third downs in Miami. Could make for an interesting affair despite Miami's definite advantage across the roster and talent.
Yeah, I mean, so the line is 17 in this game, and that seems extraordinarily high. If you took the helmets and the logos off of the uniforms and off of everything away, strip it down to just the players. Miami has better athletes, but looking at the results on the field, Miami would never be favored by 17 points in this game. They have struggled against average teams. They beat a 1 2 and 3 Florida State team on the final play, like you mentioned. They barely escape against Georgia Tech in a game they had no business winning. A tip pass on 4th and 10 leads to the game-winning field goal. That's a game they should have lost. Quite honestly, Miami should be whatever they are, 3 or 4 and 2 right now instead of undefeated. And meanwhile, Syracuse, like you said, the expectations were low coming into the year. Dino Babers is obviously has a massive rebuilding project underway at Syracuse, but look what they did a week ago. That wasn't a fluke against Clemson. They played well. Kelly Bryant got knocked out in that game. They were beating Clemson when Bryant went out of that game. It's not like that was the difference. Obviously helped, but Syracuse is not a bad football team. They've stood toe-to-toe with some pretty talented programs already this season. And Miami, it's not like you're walking into a house of horrors going down there into Land Shark Stadium or whatever it's called. There's going to be hardly any fans in the crowd, I think. You might see a better crowd than we've seen in the past because Miami's undefeated, but it's not going to be a sellout, nothing crazy. I think Syracuse handles that fine. 17 points is enormous for that line. Miami's not that great of a team. I mean, while the schedule is pretty manageable down the stretch, Notre Dame and Virginia Tech's going to be the big one for them back-to-back weeks in a couple weeks. But look, I'm not saying Syracuse pulls out the upset. I should have said it last week. I was with you, and I said that Syracuse would come close against Clemson. They ended up winning. I think that the Qs keep it within 17 here. Even I think worst case, this game is like a 38-24 type win for Miami. But yeah, keep an eye on Syracuse. Dino Babers is building something great down there as long as some other bigger program doesn't come pluck him away.
Josh, my phone and Google is not helping me out. I know that Miami changes the name of its stadium about every 3 weeks. So it's Hard Rock. It's something. I don't know what it is currently. Hard Rock Stadium, I believe. Yes. Canes and Cuse. I haven't looked at the lines. I'm a late selector of games. You blew me away with 17 points. I was guessing more in the 10 to 12 range.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that's probably where it should be. I mean, Miami has better athletes. There's no question about that. But they have better athletes every week. They have better athletes in Georgia Tech. And it'd be probably pretty equivalent against Florida State. But Florida State didn't have a quarterback in that game. Miami should have won that game by more. And the fact of the matter is they needed a miracle touchdown on a last-minute drive to win the game. Miami is not that outstanding. And the media wants to prop Miami up. That's fine. I'm going to look at the team that's on the field, look at the way they've played, and I'm not sold. I'm not sold on Miami yet.